I think it can work. I think it's working. I think it looks fine. End of stream. The question is, can you use a iPhone as an NDI source into a stream? Yeah, it might not look as it used to. It's a little bit more. My lighting is identical. I think I didn't change my lights, but the iPhone does auto ISO and all that stuff. And so it just looks like there's more light here, but there is actually the same amount of light as usual. So yeah, I mean, for the next little while, I'm just going to rock with my iPhone until this guy gets fixed. I did reach out to I reached out to Sydney Camera Repairs, and they said, no, send it to Panasonic. I was like, oh, okay. And then I thought, hold on, they still have one of my GH5s. I told you the story yesterday. And then I was thinking, that one's got a working HDMI port. Could I, like me, take the working HDMI port and put it into the non-working one? I asked ChatGPT, and it doesn't look like I could handle that job. It says you'll need a microscope and you'll need to be able to solder. I don't have a microscope, and the last time I tried to solder an Anderson connection together, it went all kinds of wrong. So I don't think I'll be attempting that. But I did find another camera repair place that should be able to do the job, and we'll see how that goes in the not too distant future. And hello. By the way, I'm going to close a few tabs here. I've noticed I've been getting a little system overload, and it might be because I've got all these tabs open. I don't need to have all these tabs open if we're streaming on one well, actually, I kind of do, don't I? Because you can never know if Beam's doing the right thing. It looks fine on Kick Machine. What about the DLive? I guess I got to bring it up and have a look. DLive.tv/gives a minute. Are we live over there on the DLive machine? Oh, speaking of DLive, coming up pretty soon. Yeah, we're live. Okay, my Eunice. Yep. Gee, that's a lot of light, isn't it? Too much light. I'll turn these lights off. Let me just turn let me see if this makes any difference. I'll turn them off entirely. See, then the iPhone kicks in with its auto crap. You might say that looks better. You'd be wrong. Let me just tweak it on the filters properties menu, NDI source filters, OBS style color correction. Brightness, oddly enough, is up quite high. I drop it down. It looks more contrasty. That's not what I tried to do. Contrast goes up, makes it looks less contrasty. That's weird. Contrast goes down, too dark. Too dark, too much blackses. Hue shift needs to be out a little bit of hue skins. Gamma. That's better. That's a bit too dark. I think that's better. I think it's better by a slight margin, and then I'm not satisfied enough, so I'm going to just fix it a little, not too much. I'll just leave it at that. What was I saying? Oh, DLive. Coming up, it's my 6th year anniversary on DLive. Whatever the heck that means. 6 years on DLive. Shit. And coming up in August, it's my 10th year on YouTube. I got a little special video I'm preparing for that. That's not till August, but it's April right now, but I started work on it. Okay, I got a beer in the freezer. I should go and get that. Beers don't last in the freezer. You know what else I should do? Hey, Charlotte, how you doing? 6 years. What? Hello there. You didn't give me a hello there? Is that not working? No, this is working now. Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there. Yes. Thank you for the super chat earlier today on the YouTube, Charlotte. That was very kind of you. $15 super chat. It's very, very kind of you. Keeping the ball rolling.
Hello there.
Hello there. Keeping it rolling when I keep breaking shit, you know? That's a fact. Actually, do you know what? I need to be more careful with my stuff, right? That's This broken port is 100% on me. No one else to blame except me. And I kind of knew it was happening in a weird way, right? I knew that I shouldn't be just putting my camera behind me on the bed in my van with the HDMI plug plugged in. I knew that, but I didn't do anything about it. Sometimes I amaze myself at how lacking, what's the word? How lackluster I am about how careless I am, because I'm aware of what can happen and I didn't take any precautionary measures. In fact, I kept it there the whole trip and I just kept moving it around. So you're welcome. Well, thank you. It does help. Do you know what? I got to get that beer out of the freezer. I was going to go live at 3. It's now 4:30. That beer's been in the freezer for probably close to 3 hours. I think it's going to be frozen. That's on me if it is. While I'm gone, enjoy my surfing clip from a few days ago at Lake Tabuli. It's not actually called Tabuli. It's called Taburi, but I call it Lake Tabuli. Almost got barreled. It's nice. It's good conditions. Enjoy. I'll be right back with a frozen beer. Get too excited, but holy shit, that is the closest I've been to a barrel, right? Certainly sizable. One day I'm going to get in that barrel and it's going to work. That got me so psyched, though. You know what else gets me psyched? Comtech in the house. How you doing, man? That was cool to see the pod of dolphins. Those dolphins were so cool. Yeah, they came from a distance, and yeah, I saw them, the dorsal fin popping up, and I was like, sick, they're coming right here. And I was like, wow. And I got my GoPro underneath my board, and I was like, dude, that one went right underneath me. It literally went underneath my board. I was like, that's going to be cool. But yeah, the thing about that was the barrel, or the cover over, they call it. Thing with that is that it's the first time. I mean, I've stuck my head into a barrel, like I've put my head in and then it's just all closed out or whatever. But that's the first time I've ridden into, and like I looked up as it was happening and I was like, oh, this is barreling shit, yeah. And then the next thing, I'm in the barrel, and it all happened super quick. But for a moment there, I was like, this is what it feels. That's what it must feel like. It's all over. Yeah, Davo, how you doing, man? Yes, this beer is probably too frozen, I think. I don't know. We'll see. It went in from room temperature, but it's been in for about 3.5 hours. Let's see. Exclamation drink, exclamation pour. Or maybe hold off on the pour part for the time being. That was a dumb move. Nice. Did you see that? Actually, okay, so it's frozen as shit. I just got to go down on this, suck it dry. It's just going everywhere. It's okay if it stays up here. I don't mind, because this tabletop can obviously be wiped clean and dry, but it isn't doing. Thank you for doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Thank you, Paul, exclamation. Thank you so much, Charlotte and Davo. I'm doing well too. How are you over on the D-Live machine? We were talking about that before. Look, the beer is, it's kind of, I don't want to waste any of it because it's really nice. It's really nice. I'll take the cap off. And it's a slushy. It's a slushy. As Marty said, it wouldn't be camping unless you licked the table. By the way, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm licking the table. And I've got a beer slushy. I don't know if it's going to pour very well. Nah, it's not going to work. This is a recipe for disaster next to a laptop. Look at it coming out. I feel like I just should suck it out. It's like a cork. You know when you put a wine cork in too far or something and you can't get it out? Okay. Maybe not. The things we do. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a face washer and clean this table.
They were getting yippy, you know? They were getting a little bit yippy.
Yippee. They were getting a little
America
yippee.
is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
Excuse
me.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's growing. While I've been gone, it's been growing. Are you feeling frightened?
No.
No. No. Marty, I think he's barring me. I sent him a message whenever I was on that road trip and he didn't respond. I think he's barring. I think he's giving me the old barrage. I think Marty said no more without saying anything. Even though he said he wouldn't do that, that's kind of what he's doing. Unless he's got a very good excuse like he's overseas or something, which he wouldn't be because he left the trip early to come back to work. Yo, Woz, how you doing, man? What's cracking? Woz from Oz. Did you get your car yet, man? Woz is getting a BYD, Build Your Dreams. Stupid name for a vehicle, right? I can't believe that they settled on it.
I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope you guys get out there, find a little bit more relevance.
That is a fierce demon. Thank you, Shyla. The demon. You've got it already and the car's great? Nah, that's awesome, was. Yeah, build your dreams. What a strange name for a motor vehicle. Like, it feels like the kids designed it. They're like, what are we going to call this? How about build our dreams? How about build your dreams? How about you let this beer cool down before you try to pour it? You're going to get, it's going to be tasty though. Yeah, build your dreams. I quite like what I see from those guys. And I do believe that they are going to be making a camper van soon, or it's on the horizon. Hey, by the way, just as we do this stream, because I'm using my iPhone as an NDI source, they are known to stop working. I can kind of see it in the reflection of that screen that it's all good now. But if it does freeze up, the audio will continue to roll, but my image will be stuck on whatever it's stuck on, and I might not see it. So just let me know if it happens. Just say, hey, the NDI source froze, and I just have to restart it. But I did change it today. It happened on my YouTube stream this morning, which was kind of funny. So what I did was I just changed the output resolution from like 4K down to 1080-60 or 1080-30. The non-free flow beer invented by Ben in 2020. Build your dreams beer. Build your homebrews. Trying to imagine a H-man with a frozen cardboard, chateau de cardboard ducks. You don't have to imagine. I bet he's got one cranking right now. By the way, I can only have one beer. I'm starting work pretty early tomorrow morning. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty stoked about that. Working on a Sunday is great pay rates. And I can afford to pay for the repair of the camera. Build your thirst beer, Comtech. Nice. Yeah. So it's going to be just a chill one here, one beer, a couple of hours, whatever. What time is it now? We'll probably stream an hour and a half or so, just chill. Nothing too fancy. We got some tabses. 3-year-old kicked out for being transphobic. 3-year-old? Bah. We got other ones as Tesla protesters are big mad. Yeah, it's always a fun story, I guess, fun times. But ultimately, I just wanted to come out and see if a stream could happen with the iPhone 16 Pro Max as an NDI source, and just see how. I mean, it looks all right to me. I know we're used to better than that, but that's like, if that's all you had, that's not bad, right? Like, that image quality, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, I'm streaming 1080-60. The phone's only putting out 1080-30, so I don't know how it's giving us extra frames, but let the computer work that shit out. It's interloping and giving us an extra frame every second. An extra frame every second, an extra 30 frames every second. I don't know. Like, I think that looks fine. Look, I wouldn't want this, because we know how good we can get it. I wouldn't want to go back to this, but if you had to. I hate my iPhone. I want to go back to the 11. Oh, what do you got, Charlotte? What did you upgrade to? Did you see the Channel 7 spotlight on EV cars? I'll send you some links for another stream. It was pretty interesting. They edited it heavily and made lots of false claims about electric vehicles. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's an interesting time, isn't it? Australia, at one point, Australia was really lagging behind the rest of the planet. They were classing electric vehicles as luxury vehicles, and there was a luxury vehicle tax imposed on them. I don't know if it's still like that. You'll know because you just bought one, or you bought one recently. But do they still have? Let's open the ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. It helps me in all of my day-to-day life. Let me bring it down. Let me bring one down. ChatGPT Machina. Does Australia still have an EV, I'll put it in inverted commas, luxury tax on, I guess EV knows it's electric vehicles, but I'll just put it down. Electric, can't spell. Electric vehicles. Yes, Australia still imposes a luxury car tax, LCT, on EVs that exceed a certain price threshold. For the 2024-2025 financial year, the LCT threshold for fuel-efficient vehicles, including EVs, fuel-efficient? Is that an Australian term? That's like hybrids as well, right? So the threshold's gone up to 91 grand. If an EV value exceeds this amount, a 33% tax applies to the portion above the threshold. But most EVs are around, like they're around the 60,000 marks, huh? Let's see, historically, what has the threshold been at? Most are below that. Yeah, no, they scrapped that EV tax, yeah. The screen brightness not bright enough? Do you think it's not bright enough on the screen, Charlotte? You think the camera's not bright enough? I can easily fix that. Appreciate you saying. Contrast brightness goes up, contrast goes down, and it makes it look brighter all overall. Thank you for letting me know. No, on your phone. Oh, shit. You meant on your phone. Damn it. Okay. There used to be a per kilometre tax on EVs. What? Historically, Australia's luxury car tax thresholds have varied over time. Adjustments are reflecting inflation policy changes. LCT was introduced on July 1, 2000, part of the goods and services tax. So you already pay the GST, you pay a LCD on top, replacing the previous wholesale sales tax system. Initially, the LCT applied at a rate of 25% to the value of a car above a threshold, which was set at 55,000. 55. So the prices of electric vehicles have only gone up then. So you've got a 16 Pro Max and you're complaining about it? That's what I've got right here, Charlotte. I'm streaming with it. I'm using it right now. 16. You don't like it? What don't you like about it? The Pro, the Mac, the 11 used to go brighter? Are you sure about that? Nits. There's more nits on this on the 11, the 16. Some banks won't even give you a car loan unless it's for an EV or a hybrid. I mean, yeah. Charlotte, the brightness, especially at night, I notice it. So are you saying it doesn't go bright enough or it's too bright? I'll tell you this, when you put your iPhone on a cradle like the one that's behind there, and it goes into that like alarm clock mode where it's on its side and it just has the clock, that thing doesn't work, right? It's meant to dim down to a certain percentage, and then it's meant to go off, and then it's meant to come back on to that dim state when you walk past it. So if you're stumbling to the bathroom, you can just glance over and see what time it is. Mine never goes off entirely. It's always on at night, and I know because I can see it in the dark. Like you can see enough, it emanates enough light to be annoying. So you got to get up and then just like press the button to turn it all the way off. It's pretty annoying. But you're saying it's not bright enough. I mean, Charlotte, are you using like a case that's got its own sheath over it or something? Because like it's so bright. Like, yo, Davey, how you doing, man? I didn't say good day to Davey. Sorry, Davey. Did I say hello to you on YouTube? I didn't see you there, man. I see you there. I see you there now. We were looking at these LCT thresholds. The tax that's 2025. Let's go back to the start. 2012, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, 77, 79. So in the financial year 21, 22, it was about $80,000 was the threshold. And then the next year it jumped up to 84,000. The year after it jumped to 89,000, then to 91. Dang, dude. All good. Thank you, Davey. Thank you. Speaking of EVs, is the Cybertruck available in Australia yet? I mean, that's got to be soon, right? That's got to be soon. Tesla Store Sydney. As of April 2025, the Tesla Cybertruck is not yet available for purchase in Australia. Tesla has showcased the Cybertruck at various events across the country, including the Everything Electric show in Sydney. There's been photos of it at Bondi, right? These appearances are part of promotional tours, do not indicate immediate availability. Tesla's Aussie and New Zealand director, Tom Drew. He'd be an artist, surely. Was Tesla sales have fallen quite a bit in Australia? Okay. Is that because of the Doge thing? Tesla Tom Drew has expressed a strong interest in bringing the Cybertruck to Australia. He mentioned the company is actively gathering feedback. Several challenges remain, including the need to develop a right-hand drive version. I mean, that they would have had to have done that already, though. That's an obvious one, right? Imagine they brought it out and they went, dude, it's left-handed drive. What are you doing? Currently only sold in the US and Canada. In summary, there's significant interest and ongoing discussion, but there's nothing available yet. Interesting. Charlotte, but my new iPad Pro is awesome. It's all ready to go to hospital with me. I got to tell you, I've got an old iPad Pro, whatever that year was when I dropped one into the bathtub when I was watching Gil Pickle stream. Do you remember that? Whatever that year was, and I bought the new one. I think that thing is great. I use that. This comes to work with me every day, and I use it for many things, multiple things. Yeah, the iPad's rad. iPad Pro from like 5 years ago now, I guess. 2025. I guess that was 2020. I'll tell you what, beer that's frozen means ice cold beer when it unfreezes. That is nice. Real nice. Still frozen though. Solid block of ice back there. I'm dripping everywhere. So let's take a little look-skis at this 3-year-old being kicked out of school, expelled for being transphobic. How do 3-year-olds even go to school? Is this kindergarten or something? They're brilliant. This is 2024-25. Just got from Optus about a fortnight ago. The iPad Pro. Yeah, dude. Oh, it's so sick. Yeah. Which size did you get? Now, actually, while we're on that, I do wish that I'd got the size I got was the one down from the full size. And I'll show it, you know. So it comes, you can buy it with these funky cases. And so that's got my Restream on it right now. But if I could go back in time, I'd rebuy it with either, I don't know if you can do this, but I don't mind the screen size. I think the screen size is fine, but I don't like how the keyboard is just not full size. Obviously, it can't be because it's not as wide. But if I could go back in time, I'd either get the bigger iPad or the bigger iPad case with the proper full-sized keyboard, because it's so slightly different that you notice it when you're typing. It's like, dude, this doesn't feel right. And it's because the keys are just ever so slightly smaller. And it's only by a fraction. Like looking at it there, it's like there's not much in it, but there's enough in it to be noticeable. So first world problems here, folks. You got the 13-inch. That's what that is, I think. Yeah, because the other one's 15, I think. I'm dying to know about this, though. 3-year-old kicked out for being transphobic. Doesn't make any sensicles.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Isaac Butterfield, and in this video, I'm going to cover an absolutely insane story. This story, if it doesn't blow your mind, then you are part of the problem. You are part of the issue that is facing the Western world right now that is really affecting us all terribly.
I gotta say, just up front here, I don't typically like this guy. I don't like, and it's so superficial. I don't like his delivery. I don't mind his content. It's kind of like Friendly Geordie. I don't like his delivery at all, but I like his content. It's like Philly D. I don't like his delivery at all, but I like his content. Mostly. Not all of it, but some of it, or a portion of it. It's weird. This guy was in Warrnambool, where my son works. Some chick heckled him and he went off, had her thrown out. Oh, he was doing a performance and there was a heckler. Fair enough. Well, it's his show. He can choose to evict anybody if he wants, but I don't know how she was heckling. I had to get a new MacBook recently as a family member needed a refresh from her 12 to an iMac. So I went for an M1 MacBook Pro to an M4 MacBook Pro. Haven't noticed much difference. Do you know what? I've heard that. I've heard the M series, which I'm rocking with. I'm on the M1 Max, the original. Was a massive, massive change from the Intel stuff, like worlds apart. I run my whole stream. I run everything off this Mac M1 Max. But I have heard that the upgrades from the M1s through to the M4, it's such a subliminal change that people look, to be fair, I don't know what you do with your time. I know what you kind of do, but I don't know if you're putting it through the runner. As if I had the M4, I probably wouldn't notice much difference either because of how good the M1 is. But if you went from an Intel i9 or whatever into an M4, and you were using it for even video editing, even compressing in Handbrake or outputting Final Cut or Compressor, you will definitely notice it. It's light years of difference. But that gap from the 1s, the 2s, the 3s to the 4s, not so great. To the point where I've had this machine now 4 years, and usually that's the life cycle of a Mac, 4 years. Aside from a few funky issues with some stream drops and whatnot, I don't really see any reason why I would upgrade this. So Apple might have done the wrong thing by making these these Apple Silicon processors, because they're so powerful, you won't need to upgrade anywhere nearly as often as you used to. Right on. That's exactly what was said. I didn't see you say that. They're so powerful, there's no real need for upgrades. Charlotte, definitely no difference. My youngest is a MacBook guy. He pretty much says he uses for uni graphic design. Look, at that sort of it's funny, I'm going to say low end. At the low end usage, which graphic design and whatnot at one time in history would be regarded as high end use, at that level of usage, it's not very heavy, the lifting you're doing. You're probably not going to see a difference. You might have a better battery life. You might have, you can have more things open and do the same stuff at the same blah, blah, blah. But the heavy lifting, the stuff that I wouldn't do, right? The stuff right now I'm streaming in OBS. So I wouldn't also be outputting through Final Cut, or I wouldn't be exporting from Handbrake right now. I wouldn't do that. You probably could do it. You definitely could do it, but you would be then. Yeah, I feel like you're doing it because you're do I need to output a Final Cut Pro file right now while I'm live streaming? No, but could I for shits and giggles? More than likely. So I feel I don't know, I told you yesterday how I'm using ChatGPT to run this. So I had to download 10 videos from my YouTube channel, and I wanted them in the full 4K res. And I didn't want to install 4K video downloader because it's full of potential malware and shit. So I asked ChatGPT, and it said to me, I can teach you how to do it. I can teach you how to use Terminal, and I can teach you how to use Homebrew, oddly enough. I can teach you how to use Frozen Homebrew, and I can teach you how to install FFmpeg and how to get all these things running. And then I'll write you a script that actually just pops up with a window, and you paste in the YouTube URL, and then it downloads it, and then it converts it from using FFmpeg into a .movie file. It deletes all the source material.
I wrote this script.
And then wrote the script and just stores it into your downloads folder. And that shit is running. I did that for 10 videos, and yeah, the process takes a while, good 25 minutes to do all the encoding and everything. And the MacBook Pro fans kicked in. You wouldn't do that on an Intel processor. Hell no. ChatGPT I don't know if you've used it for any scripting or anything, but my knowledge of that is very limited, right? I did HTML and CSS back in the Dreamweaver days. I actually went to school for it. I studied it. Since then, and using a very small amount of those kind of style sheets and a little HTML in WordPress, I've really had no need to use it, or I've had no desire to look into any scripting or any code or anything like that. But having seen how ChatGPT walked me through that process, because like, let me be clear, I had barely even touched the terminal on a Mac. And now I know what it is. I know there's a command line, and I understand that's how the process works. And the UI, what we see, is a rendering to make it look pretty. I understand that there's always code in the background, but being completely frank, as a Mac user, I couldn't give a shit about that. Like, that's the kind of stuff that a Windows user needs to know, right? You got to know how to go back CD/DOS prompt, all that stuff to fragment your hard drive and all that shit that they do back in the day. I don't know if they still do it, but as a Mac user, I was so thankful that that didn't exist. I was like, I don't need to know anything about that shit. Great. Fast forward 25, 30 years, and now I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Okay, ChatGPT, learn me. I'm ready to learn. He said, open up terminal. I was like, really? Open up terminal. Something I've never done before. Command spacebar, type the word terminal, hit enter, up it comes. I'm looking at this pseudo thing. I'm like, okay, here we go. This could either go horribly wrong or it could go really well. It went, first couple of times there was a few little glitches and little things that didn't work. And I was like, it's not kind of what it says there, and it doesn't work correctly. Then it spits out an update and says, oh, you're doing this? Okay, let's choose this way instead. Really smart, man. Like, and it helped me with WordPress, dude. Like, WordPress. Some stuff in WordPress, and I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. Okay, so PHP, right? A PHP file. I was under the impression to create a PHP file, you definitely can't do that from inside WordPress, because, again, with my limited knowledge, the PHP file is what talks to the database. So the files, the WordPress files, live on the database. So you can't go through the database to talk to the database. That's how I always thought it, right? You have to go back to your hosting and go into the root of the folder and go outside of the WP config, blah, blah, blah. No, ChatGPT says, no, you can install this plugin from WordPress and get into a little panel that allows you to edit PHP files. And I was like, well, shit, okay, learn me. It taught me how to do it. I went ahead and did it, created the PHP file just to get some stuff working on the back end of my website. And yeah, I'm a coder now, you know? I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. And I installed Homebrew and FFmpeg. You can put PHP code into WordPress. It's cool. The shortcodes are nice. Exactly, Comptech. Yeah, the shortcodes. And that, so I said this yesterday, but the idea was to have, so my web page, my photography website, I wanted a portfolio, and I wanted the portfolio to be very specific so that when you click on the word portfolio, it doesn't give you any faff. It just pops up with a random light box of full screen of my images that I've selected to go into this particular folder. And so every other web page on my site, when you click a link of any description, it goes to a new page. And the page populates and comes up with all the header and footer and everything. Well, in this case, I didn't want any of that. I just wanted the link to be the thing and the light box to be the action. So I asked it how to do that. It's like, oh, you'll need some shortcode for that. And then I had to ask the PHP, I said, will the PHP still run on a page that's only got shortcode, not HTML? And they're like, oh, you'll need to do this. I was like, okay, that kind of stuff I would have been Googling and still getting wrong for hours. And ChatGPT had me up and running within, 25 minutes. And so that's why I don't really like this guy. I don't even know how I got onto that rant, but Isaac Butterfield.
We seem to be falling deeper into this hole that is authoritarian speech. We are no longer, it appears, and I know this sounds alarmist and I know this sounds ridiculous, and there'll be people in the comment section like, oh, he's wrong. It's not that bad. Mate, it is that bad. If what is happening apparently in this story, if what is alleged to have happened is true, then we are falling into a pit of despair that we may never crawl out of. Lady, how else do I describe a story where it has been removed, kicked out,
from the womb,
sent away from a preschool, a nursery, whatever you want to call it, a daycare, because they have been accused of being transphobic.
How can what? A 3-year-old doesn't even know what that word means. Offline? Comptech? That's probably only on Kick. Hang on a second. Grab your baby. Is it offline? Well, I didn't see any drops at my end. I feel like it's only at your end, dude. I think that's at your end, man. I'll just type it. I think that's at your end. I think that's your end, man. Yeah, I think that's at your end, dude. I didn't see any drop. Did anybody else report a drop on Kick Machine? I see it up. I see it running. I think that's at your end, dude.
Ready to hear this story?
I'm ready.
It's gonna blow your mind. Toddler kicked out of nursery for being transphobic.
Now, before this story gets too deep, is it possible that the toddler said something that they'd heard an adult say, and then the teacher reported it as transphobic? Is that possible? I put on some clean browsers. All good. Thank you, man. Adjust your browser and grab your baby.
Families blast the school's insanity. So there was this.
Can we also learn about that helicopter crash in the Hudson? Has anybody got a link for that? I want to learn about that.
This big report that was released showing why children were kicked out of schools, nurseries, which means daycares or preschools, and high schools. And basically, the reason this report was done was to show what children are doing wrong and the reasons and the problems that perhaps the younger people are facing in the education system in the UK. Now, the statistics showed that a child, and they weren't able to show the exact age of the child, they were either 3 or 4. At least one, perhaps more, was kicked out because they were being transphobic. Now,
I'm sorry to do this, Isaac boy. I feel like this is a nothing burger, because unless you're going to have the toddler themselves come on and explain what the transphobia is, I think this is probably a case of, as lame as it sounds, someone reporting it incorrectly. You know what I'm saying? Like, people say that the number of people who died from COVID was reported incorrectly. People died with COVID, but not because of COVID. Yeah, that was reported as a COVID-related death. It's like someone dying that also had a broken arm. Did they die from a broken arm? No, they died and they happened to have a broken arm at the same time. It's not the broken arm that killed them, right? So I feel like without knowing anything about this story, I feel like this story, unless the kid comes out, unless the 3-year-old approaches us and tells us how transphobic they are, I think this is a nothing burger.
No, how a child can be transphobic. Now, okay, sure, you may hear a child say some mean things. Maybe they say some shitty things. Maybe they hear some things at home that are particularly rancid. Maybe the parents are racist. Maybe they say some mean things, and then the child repeats that.
That's what I said.
At their place of education or daycare. Now, is that the child's fault? I guess that's a pretty interesting question. Should you blame them? Should you blame them if they swear? Is that the child's fault? Well, obviously not, because they're a fucking child. Yeah, fucking dumb. A toddler has been kicked out of a nursery after being accused of transphobia, new figures reveal. The child, either age 3 or 4, was suspended for abuse against sexual orientation and gender identity.
The child, either age 3 or 4, which one was it? Suspended for abuse against sexual orientation. What did they do, though? There's got to be a report, right?
Data for the Department of Education shows. The offences took place in the 2022 to 23 academic year at a state school. So by that, I would say nursery means kindergarten. Okay, according to the Telegraph. Okay, so for that 1 year, 94 children were suspended, kicked out, or for at least a couple of days or permanently excluded, so just banned from the school for transphobia or homophobia in the same year. This included 10 pupils from year 1, 3 and 3 from year 2, where the maximum age was 7 and 1 child from the nursery age. So the rest of...
Now, also, shit, as this happens, or as this rolls, am I getting this right? How would a 3-year-old know what transphobia or homophobia is? I'm assuming there's no trans kids in years 1 and 2 and 3, right? There's no one becomes trans at such a young age. So were they saying transphobic things, which is again more than likely just repeating what they hear at home, right? They're just repeating what they heard either at home on the television or at home from their parents or whatever. But they're not abusing their fellow student, because they wouldn't have a fellow student who's trans in grade 3, right? Maybe they didn't like the trans storyteller. Oh, is that what it was? Someone came in, is that like when they do the, we haven't seen that for a while, but they used to all go to the schools and do like pride stuff. And is that what this is about? That would make more sense. That would make more sense.
The kids, so the other 90 kids were a couple of years older, but still in their junior years. So primary school, depending on where you are in the world, up until the age of what, 12? Still, like, why would that?
Damn, look at that kid there with those sticky out ears. That's unfortunate. This guy on the left here, those ears need some pinning back. That's more abusive to children than... No, it's not. But the parents should have got those ears pinned back when he was that younger. Come on, man. You're going to let your kid grow up with ears like that? Damn it.
They be excluded or kicked out or suspended for that shit. Like, I absolutely agree that they shouldn't be hateful. They shouldn't...
Yeah, like some people don't like clowns. Right on. Good point, Comtech. Their kids start squealing because a clown comes up with the big fairy candy cotton and fairy floss. They scream at it. Are they getting booted out because they were clown phobic? I see where that goes. Yeah, I don't know if that's what this is. It could be. It could be.
Be mean. They shouldn't be transphobic or homophobic. But what are they actually saying? That needs to be taken into account. And I imagine this should happen anyway.
And don't kids say the damnedest things? The cutest things. What was that Bill Cosby show? Children say the weirdest things. What happened?
The school's Department of Education that runs the schools, they should be looking into what these kids are actually saying. Now, should they then be cracking the whip at these kids? Should they then be saying, hey, these kids need to learn better? Maybe some of them do. But what are these kids saying? That needs to be answered here, because maybe they're just questioning things. Because I imagine that if these kids said something outrageously transphobic and homophobic, like, remember the signs that they used to put up at soldiers' funerals about the F word, F word must die, that type of stuff, all that bullshit. Well, okay, is that in the same boat as a kid saying there's only 2 genders because they heard their parents say it? Okay, obviously not the same, but also one's true and accurate.
Well, the kids also say boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. Kindergarten cop. Is that film going to be cancelled in like, is Arnold Schwarzenegger going to be cancelled? Shit.
That's interesting, right? What is actually happening with these kids? So the Department of Education has said in response to this that all pupils and staff should feel safe and protected at school and should never face violence or...
These kids are in year 3, dude. They're not even people yet. They're just blobs. They're just blobs of skin and bones walking around discovering that the sky is blue and water is running, Charlotte, you're laughing out loud, but I'm not kidding. I'm a little kidding, but I'm not fully kidding. They're canceling Seinfeld right now. Come on, man. There's nothing. Do you know what? There's not going to be anything left. It doesn't end. If anybody said anything that is somehow considered remotely offensive, they're getting cancelled. It's fucking stupid. Let the past be the past, man. I agree. We're cancel cultured out the wazoo. Right on, yeah. Yeah, it's unsensical to go like the past should be the litmus or the testing that you what's the phrase where you say you judge the past on the past, right? You can't use today's standards to judge what happened in the past. You just can't. Things were different back then. You know, they're different now.
Abuse. Now, I want to understand what these people have said, these young babies have said, because that's what matters here. Okay, if they've been directly angry and violent and abusive, then maybe they do deserve a suspension or expulsion, depending on what they've said. But what if they have said something just as plain and simple and accurate as there's men and women and that's it? Because maybe that's all that's been said here. When
True.
you say that they have been banned or expelled for transphobia or homophobia, that doesn't really mean anything, because I think a lot of people's minds go straight to the most extreme things that someone could say. Like, you know, if you're a gay person, you deserve to go to hell. If you're a trans person, you deserve to whatever. I think we all jump straight to that conclusion.
Like if you're a skateboarder and you push Mongo, you should just give up. I got into get this. By the way, I don't know. No, Danny doesn't watch. Let me just get off this for a second. I got in trouble, or I didn't get into it, but there was an argument that there was an unfriending, right? So there's a skateboarder from my era, or a couple of years ahead of me, as an old school skateboarder who is a lovely guy, someone I've admired for a long time, someone I've known for a long time, someone that I've considered a relatively close friend through the skateboard world. He got excited one year, a couple of years ago now, he got excited, he got a new girlfriend, and he put a video of her learning to skate, and he was all psyched for it. And I made a comment, something like, dump her immediately, pushing Mongo, it's a no-brainer, she's out. Now, for those that don't know, pushing Mongo is when you push with the wrong foot. It's hard to explain to a non-skateboarder, but you guys know that you can either skate one stance or the other. 1 foot forward, left foot forward is considered a natural stance. Right foot forward is considered a goofy stance. If you skateboard in a natural stance, you should push with your right foot. So your front foot stays on the front of the board and you push with your right foot. You often see people pushing with their back foot, and so they've put their, your front foot stays on the board, you push with your back foot. So you often see people pushing with their front foot, so their back foot stays on the board. Now, that's considered Mongo pushing. And it goes way back in time of where that, I don't even know where the name comes from. It's like Mongo, right? And so I said, send her back, she pushes Mongo, not good enough. And that popped off into an almighty tirade of abuse. And I was like, dude, first of all, I was kidding, obviously, and I'm stoked for you with your new partner, and I'm even more stoked that she's learning to skate. And he's like, he got so offended by me. And this is a guy older than me, like from the hardcore sort of generation, you know, the rough and, you know, the dudes that would spit at you if you weren't wearing the right gear when you were younger, that kind of stuff. And he got offended by that. And I was like, and then he unfriended me. I was like, okay, next time I won't try to be the wisecracker. I'll just let it ride. And by the way, if I didn't write it, someone else in the skate world would have written it, because everybody saw it, right? He's teaching her and he's showing her pushing Mongo. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Push the correct way. Teach her the right. Anyway, that's a side story. I like stories.
And maybe that's not accurate at all. And here is a great example of this. In 2022, a Church of England school warned a 6-year-old boy's parents he might be deemed transphobic if he were to question another pupil wearing a dress. I imagine a male pupil wearing a dress. Well, why wouldn't a 6-year-old boy question another little boy wearing a dress? That is not the normal thing that is done.
Did he say that was in Ireland? That is kind of normal over there, though.
And I know people freak out when you say normal. Well, okay, if you've got 100 young boys, all 6 years old, 99 of them are all wearing boys' clothes because boys wear boys' clothes, right? It's what we do, okay? And if you don't like it, start your own fucking society in the jungles of the Amazon. If that one young male decides to wear a dress, of course all of the other boys are going to question that young boy in the same.
At least they're going to notice, right? It's like someone that's really good at, when you're a kid, there's always one dude who's good at everything. Greenie, right? Marcus Monkey, he is good at everything. Put him on a surfboard, he could ride a wave. Put him on a freeboard, he could get out behind a boat. He's even good at skateboarding, right? He's always naturally talented. And they stand out. You notice it. Like the guy playing pool at the pub who's sinking everything and claims the table. You notice it. Are you not meant to notice it? You notice it.
Vein that if that young boy decided to wear a clown nose, they'd all go, "What the fuck are you wearing, bro?" This is from the parents of that young boy who they said if they questioned the dress wearer, they could be locked into the transphobia camp. They claimed in a letter from the school, also added that refusing to use the transgender pupil's adopted name or gender-appropriate pronouns would be considered transphobic behavior. There's more of this too. A feminist professor, Kathleen Stock.
Do people, sorry to be offensive here, but do people get upset when you mispronounce, when you use the wrong pronoun? Are people getting upset with that? I feel like that's not, like, you should try to respect it and use the right pronoun, but do people still really get upset about it? I don't know, like, just like, yeah, people say nasty shit to you all the time. Like, if you dwell on it, maybe that, like sticks and stones, like, let it roll off, like. I'm offended by the word pronoun, Charlotte. Like, I can't imagine me being upset. If I chose to announce that I'm they and I'm not a he, and if someone didn't respect that and start calling me they, I don't think I'd get upset with that. I think I'd be like, well, whatever, that's just how they do it. That's cool. Or that's how, probably the wrong choice of words, but that's how that person does it. Ooh, I'm not like some madman. That didn't last long. Yeah, I don't know. Like, by the way, I don't know why that cut out, but thank you, Charlotte. I don't know if I'd get upset with that. If I was genuinely changing my pronouns, I don't think that if someone chose not to use them, I think that would not bother me at all. Yeah, but are people still kicking up a fuss in today, 2025, about that?
I'm not like some madman. Yeah, I love it.
I feel like people get upset just for attention. It's wild. That's a good point. They're just using that to gain the attention. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might be right there.
Was cancelled and forced to leave the University of Sussex in 2021 because she claimed in 2020 that trans women are women is fiction. Literally not true, and spaces where women undress should remain genuinely single sex in order to protect them. Wow. And last week that university was fined or charged £585,000, which is about $1 million Australian, for failure to uphold free speech, the largest fine ever given to a university. And I guess this is the big part of this story, that is the most important part of this story, is what is this teaching our young people about free speech? Just because someone in their class decides that they want to dress a certain way, are we not allowed, or are our children not allowed? I'm a parent of a 2-year-old. What does this mean for them? What's going to happen in a few years' time when
Charlotte, if they're so comfortable within themselves, then why bang on about it so hardcore? Yeah, good point. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any difference out there in the world who you are or what you do. Like, prove yourself, make something of yourself. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because, like, I don't want to offend or upset anybody, but if you're going to get upset by the simplest of things, like, do we end up, like, I remember a few years ago someone saying, actually, I won't name names here because whatever, but it was a younger person, and I was saying, how do you meet a chick? It's like, yeah, it's hard, eh? It's like, yeah, because it doesn't matter what you do, like what approach you take here, you can always be in the wrong, no matter at what angle you approach this. You can be considered offensive. And he's like, yeah, it's super difficult. And funnily enough, that person has a new partner and met his girl. He was fitness running, and he ran past her and saw her at the beach in a bikini. And I was like, and what did you do? And he's like, we just smiled. I was like, dude, that's super offensive. Like, that's a bit creepy. It worked out okay for him. But what I'm saying is, what's the approach here? Like, how do you even begin to do that? And like, what if when he ran, he said he'd seen her a few times before, and then they smiled at each other. But if you ran and you saw a chick in a bikini and you smiled at them, that could go all kinds of wrong, right? If it's not obvious to a person's gender and you get it wrong, there shouldn't be a big deal over it. How are we to know? That's that's another point. Like there is literally no way of knowing. Like, yeah, it's not like, yeah, that's a really good point. There is no way of knowing. So why should it be such a problem? Yeah, good point.
He goes to school. Is that going to be even more widespread? Is that going to travel out of the UK and affect children in Australia and America and all over the world? And by affect, I mean, are they going to be told what they can and cannot say when it comes to things that pertain to accuracy, like the two genders? Like the one thing that, if you recall, this got me kicked off of TikTok with 800,000, nearly 1 million fucking followers on TikTok. When I said that men can't get pregnant. If my son says that at school, is he going to be kicked out of school? Is your son or your daughter? Are they going to be removed from their friends, kicked out of their area, everything they know, they love, that they're used to because they state the truth? This is an attack on free speech. Now, as I said, if they've said something genuinely horrific and horrible, then maybe they should face some punishment, no doubt. But if it's just things that are accurate, then they shouldn't face any punishment at all. They should be cheered. They should be celebrated for thinking logically.
He's not going to tell us what they said, is he? It's only got a few seconds left. So we don't know what they actually said. We don't know what they actually said. So what did he say? Do we have ChatGPT? I closed it. Why do I keep closing it? That's the wrong tab. Where's the tab skis of ChatGPTs? How do we find this? Yeah. Bring this back up. What does the fox say? What was it? What did the 3-year-old say to be kicked out of, where was it? Primary school? Kicked out of school. I'll just put school for being transphobic. I want to know what they actually said. That's a good question to reflect on critically. No, I'm talking about a specific case as reported by Isaac Butterfield, who's a big fat meanie. Discussed a story. In this segment, Butterfield critiques a reported incident where a toddler was allegedly expelled. Yes. It's important to note that his content is comedic. The specific details of the child's comment are not provided. If you're interested in exploring, no, I want to know what the kid said. So what did... They're not going to tell us, are they? Damn, it just repeated itself. I'll repeat myself then. So what did the kid say? I'll put actually say. The specific comment made by the toddler that led to their suspension has not been disclosed in any available reports. It must have been reported. The incident occurred in the UK during 2022-2023. There's got to be a report for it. There has to be a report. It's like when someone corrects you when you say girlfriend or partner instead of wife. Yeah, if we don't know, we don't know. That's highly offensive, but very accurate was. Yeah. But you'll know if they're vegan because they'll say, here's my vegan friend. The specific comment on behavior has not been publicly disclosed. Damn, dude. So it could all be fake. Been widely reported, but specific details about what the child said have not been disclosed. So it doesn't make sense. Like either this happened or it didn't. Damn, dude. So again, it may be faked, right? If no one has reported what the kid said, I think we're up against a wall here with ChatGPT. It's just repeating itself. It's literally just repeating it, and I've hit the limit. Shit. That's interesting. So yeah, I guess we're not going to learn about what the kid actually said, and I just closed ChatGPT again. Let's move on. What are we looking at now? I don't want to take it more political. You want to see 30 minutes of Tesla protesters big mad? We'll keep it rolling as political. Shall we or shall we not? By the way, what's with the numbers? 3 watching? Usually there's like big numbers on Party and shit. Are we not live on Party? Are we live everywhere? Hey, D-Live, are we live? D-Live. Are we live on the D-Live machine? My Eunice? Wow. Let me just check. Maybe the numbers, maybe we dropped off. No politics, please. Hey, Hendrik, how you doing, man? Oh, we're playing a rerun on D-Live. Okay, so Beam's messing around. Okay, Beam, fuck you. Fuck you, Beam. Does that mean we're not live everywhere? Are we live? We're live on Kick. I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off on Twitch. I'll turn it off and back on. I'll turn it off on Trovo. No, Party. I'll turn Party on and off. And then, oh shit. Party. We'll leave it at that. 17 viewers immediately. Yay! H-Man. So is this considered political? Tesla nutters? Is that too political for you, H-Man? It's good to see you, man. Shit. I don't think, well, Tesla is political, isn't it? I mean, it's, do I see 107 viewers? Shit. No, I don't. I don't think so. Thank you, H-Man. Let's take a look at this. We might not watch it all, but 30 minutes of Tesla protesters being big mad.
Do you want money taken from your grandma? Do you want to not support battered women? Stand up and say it, fascists. Stand up and say it. I'm standing up and saying what I believe. You stand up and say what you believe, and not platitudes, and not idolatry. Let's hear ideas. You have no ideas. All you have is hate, racism, stupidity, and greed.
Do you think the dealership should, the vandalism that's going on there is okay?
I'll take the fifth on that one.
Would you say, like, please stop vandalizing the Tesla cars?
Please stop vandalizing our government.
He's got charging stations everywhere. He is quietly taking over the country.
Oh, God.
With the charging stations?
Yes.
What?
Sorry, this is going to be difficult. This is the worst of the worst. He's taking over the country with charging stations.
Quietly taking over the country.
With the charging stations?
Yes.
What car should people buy that's an electric vehicle other than Tesla?
That I don't have an answer to. I haven't done a lot of research into alternatives.
I can give you a 15-minute video on the bullshit of the Channel 7 EV report. Yeah, I was. I probably won't take it today, but we'll definitely. I kind of wanted to do. I wanted to do. You know, I really wanted to do the Hudson helicopter crash. I just wanted to learn a little about that. Can we just deviate here? I want to learn about this helicopter crash because there's another. I mean, it's all over. Oh, who did that? Yo, Jake, how you doing, man? It's all over Twitter. People are saying now, who was in the helicopter? You know, like. So what do we know anything about this? What's the scope here? 4 hours ago. Let's take a look.
Now to new video of the horrific helicopter crash into New York's Hudson River and what it reveals. Investigators looking closely at the new images as divers recover pieces of the aircraft. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the latest.
New video obtained by ABC News showing that doomed sightseeing helicopter twisting in the air before breaking apart and dropping out of the sky. Federal safety investigators now pouring over the wreckage and the Army Corps of Engineers helping salvage pieces still in the water. And tonight, the NTSB is investigating reports of a large flock of birds in the area and is appealing to the public for help.
From what I saw, it was an unfortunate accident. The blades cut off the tail section. Holy shit. Look, I'll just say this. I'm frightened of helicopters. I'm legitimately scared of a helicopter. There was one time in Queenstown, or in Coronet Peak, when I lived over there for the winter, where we used to park so at the top of the mountain, where we would park the shuttle bus waiting for skiers and snowboarders for me to drive them down to the car parks. That was underneath the first aid area.
Hello there.
Hello there. Yo, Dalsky, how you doing, man? Yeah, so that they had, so there was a point where the helicopter would land for anyone that was injured on the mountain. If you needed to be airlifted off the mountain, the helicopter would come in and land at that point, and it was right above and off to the side of where we parked the shuttle buses. And there was one time when a helicopter was coming in, I was like, dude, I've got a bad sense of this, you know, like I just don't feel good. Now, spoiler alert, nothing happened, but the chopper came in and it landed on this helipad and the blades were spinning, and it's like I could have thrown a snowball at it, right? It's within arm's reach, if you like. And I was like, dude, I'm taking this chance to close the door of the bus and I'm going into the building, the ski house, into the bar area, and I'm going to wait until that chopper goes. And if anybody, like if my boss gets angry that why is the shuttle not running, I'm going to say, because I don't feel safe with that chopper there, man. It's got like, the blades are spinning, and like I've seen drones take off and fall over, you know, like a drone lifts up and it goes slightly off to the side. The next thing the blade hits the ground and it fucking flies everywhere. I'm like, I don't want to be anywhere near that should it happen. So all you dudes that need to get back to your vehicles, you can just wait until that chopper leaves. And I'm waiting for it up there in the building at a distance. And yeah, nothing happened. The spoiler alert, nothing happened, but I felt like I had a point. Get to the chopper. Even if you have no power, the copter can usually land and not just fall. This is a different thing. It got cut in half. Holy shit. It's called auto rotation. Who did that?
Wow.
Yeah, thanks for the follow.
Lies the joy.
And therein lies the joy.
You want to contact us because you believe that you have information that could be pertinent to our...
This girl reminds me of Suki for some reason. Is that, am I tripping? Does that not bring Suki Smackhouse vibes?
Of birds in the area and is appealing to the public for help.
If you want to contact us because you believe that you have information that could be pertinent to our investigation, please.
You can contact me. I'll be up all night. Suki Smackhouse.
Reach out to us.
A 17-minute flight ending in unspeakable tragedy for the family of 5 from Spain that was on board. Agustin Escobar and his wife Mercy, both executives at global tech company Siemens, along with their 3 children, ages 4, 8, and 10. Today would have been the middle child's 9th birthday.
They were celebrating the mom's 40th birthday. They were very excited. It's just really, really, really a sad story.
Horrible story, man. I've had arguments with people about it in the past. People think copters are just fall and crash if you have no power. Suki is better looking. Yeah, nice. Yo, piss on Kick. Can you do the follow thing from DLive 2019? That's a good question. Can I do that? Thanks for following. Yo, piss. Thanks for following the Gives a Minute DLive stream. Now, why would this make you a... No. Rewind. It's been a while. I need a little courage here, a little memory. Hang on a second. I got a follow from Piss. Hey, Piss, thanks for following the Gives a Minute DLive stream. Now, that makes you a giver. Now, why would this make you a... That doesn't seem right. I can't do it unless it's natural. The thing has to happen. Like, I don't think we've ever done it on cue. It's always just been natural. So how did it happen? There'd be a follow, and I'd say, hey, Piss, thanks for following the Gives a Minute DLive stream. Now that makes you the latest giver right here on the channel. Now, why would this make you a giver? Well, let me explain. You see, you're giving me your time to consume the content, whereas me, I'm a giver because I'm giving you my time to consume the content. And so you see how we're both givers here, and this is a two-way street. But you're the latest giver on the Gives a Minute DLive stream. Thanks for the follow. I think that was close to what it was. There was a little bit less... Something at the start, was it? Yo, Piss, thanks for following. Got a little... I don't know how it started. I can't remember how it started. I'm an OG man. I need to hear it. No worries. Well, I gave it the best shot.
You learn about it.
The pilot, 36-year-old Sean Johnson, a Navy veteran, posting this video on Facebook 2 weeks ago, showing himself flying over Manhattan.
Well, I don't know how to put it into words, you know?
So, sorry, getting back to this story, there was no survivors, right? No one, not even the pilot. But didn't the pilot eject?
Just fun. He was just an amazing man. And
damn it.
You know, it's always good ones.
The NTSB says he had 788 hours of flight time, but investigators still calculating how much time he had spent in that particular helicopter. The operator, New York Helicopter Tours, has a good safety.
Dale, my guess, something on the rotor broke. Yeah. Well, let's see if there's other reports that explain. Here's a full briefing from Suki. Let's take a look at this.
The Safety Board is an independent federal agency that's charged by Congress with investigating every civil aviation accident in the United States and significant events in all other modes of transportation.
Look, the reason I'm watching this, or the reason I want to know about it, is because I'm already seeing the conspiracies. You know, who was on that helicopter? You got to ask yourself. The Matt Wallace Twitter account. Take a closer look at this vision of the helicopter crash. Are you seeing it yet? I'm like, what am I supposed to be seeing? I see a helicopter fly out of the sky and people died, dude. What on earth? Like, the fuck? What? Like, why are people immediately jumping to some conspiracy? Like, come on, man. Where the fuck are we as a species of humans that immediately there's this shit about it's a conspiracy? Ask yourself, who's on that chopper? Ask yourself these hard questions. Take a closer look at this vision. What do you see? It's like, what the fuck, man? A vague, by the way, this thing, I don't know, this something about the first time I hit the other video and this woman popped up, I thought about Suki. I'm not saying she looks like, I'm just saying there was some resemblance or something just tripped my mind. I thought of Suki.
As you know, we're here to investigate yesterday's crash of a Bell 206L4 helicopter into the Hudson River.
Crazy paranoid people see conspiracies and threats everywhere. Like, but I don't want, I don't know. It like, fuck, man. Like 5 people died on this thing, and this just seems crazy to already be going down these nutter road road trips. I'm going to say road trips. That's not the right phrase. Yeah, down this avenue, I guess. It just seems stupid. Delusional.
Jersey City, New Jersey. The helicopter departed the downtown Manhattan Wall Street heliport in New York at about 14:50 for an air tour flight. The helicopter is owned by Meridian Helicopters LLC, which is based in Broussard, Louisiana.
I wonder who owns that. It's got to be someone. It's the Jews did it. That's what you're going to hear. Something stupid like that. It's just fucking ridiculous.
And operated by New York.
Holy shitballs. Charlotte just dropped a Ninja Guinea on D-Live. This makes me the latest Gives a Minute D-Live. That makes you a giver. Oh, yo, Charlotte, thank you so much for following the channel. We never used to say that. Thanks for... That makes you the latest giver right here on the channel. Now, why would this make you a giver? Well, let me explain. You see, you're giving me your time to consume the content, whereas me, I'm a giver because I'm giving you my time to create the content. And so you see how we're both givers here, and this is a two-way street. But you're the latest giver on the Gives a Minute D live stream. Thanks for the follow. That's how it was done, and that's how it was triggered as well. You know what we should do today? We should open up the chest on D Live. Speaking of old school days, we haven't done that for a while. Thank you so much for the Ninja Guinea, Charlotte. Should we open the chest? Once we've learned about this crash, we'll open the chest up. I think that's a good idea. Thank you so much. Ninja Guinea.
Helicopter Charter, Inc. Before I go on, I want to extend on behalf of the entire NTSB our deepest condolences to those who lost loved ones in this tragic event. I also
just want to tell you how it feels.
I just want to tell you how it feels. A diamond. Jeez. You going for the Benny 12 scoop. Wow. Does that... I can't trigger... Don't do that. I can't trigger that. I'm just here for the chest. Mahaba. Good publications.
Responders. This was a tremendous, tremendous effort. And I want to thank specifically, first and foremost, the mayor for allowing us to be here in City Hall and do this press conference.
Wow, Charlotte, you've got the old GIFs there. I thought that one got banned of that chick dancing. Huh. That's an old one, isn't it? Wow.
The support that you've given us and the team. I also want to thank the Jersey City Office of Emergency Management, the Jersey City Police Department, Jersey City Fire, Jersey City EMS, Port Authority of New York and New Jersey Police Department, the New Jersey Park Police, the New Jersey Transit Police Department, Hudson County Office
They're all
of
in on
Emergency
it, aren't they?
Management,
They're all in on
the
this.
NYPD Special
No doubt about it.
FDNY Special Operations, New York City Office of Emergency Management,
Mayonnaise, wow!
the United States Coast Guard, the Army Corps of Engineers.
Just give me 1 second, folks.
And so many others
I just want to tell you how it
continue to
feels.
mention in our follow-up press briefings. Now, I want to set expectations for this press conference. This crash occurred yesterday at about 3:15 p.m., so we're not even 24 hours later. Rightfully, the focus yesterday was on, first and foremost, victim recovery, and then
Hey,
wreckage
folks,
recovery.
this just
Our
in.
investigators from NTSB
Oh, no. Dudes, stop! Don't do any more. I've got to go. I've got to go. Oh, my phone's frozen. Oh my god.
I just want to tell you how it feels.
Damn it! Oh no! Okay, so here's the... fuck you, phone. So here's the thing. My phone... dude, stop. No donations. I've got a split right now. And my phone froze because an alert came up alerting me to what I've got to leave for. And I'd forgot... Oh, there it is, back up. So, by the way, special note to myself. If I'm going to stream with this as my camera, you must turn it on to flight mode and turn off all notifications because it alerted myself to something that I'd already had. I got to leave right now. Thank you so much. So bad timing. Charlotte, thank you. I'll make this up. We'll do another stream. We'll do a D Live. You know what? It's coming up. We'll do a D Live only stream on my D Live birthday because I've messed this up. I forgot that I had this thing and I've got to leave right now. Thank you so much. I got to split.
Hey guys,
my bad.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Well, hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.